Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Yes, I know it's been a while. I apologize. As you know, if you've been following me on social media, especially on Instagram, on Twitter, a whole lot happened within the last 2.5 weeks while I was in Tulsa. I'm back in Raleigh in a different room, apparently. But been in Tulsa talking about the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, talking a lot about the book. We are still a bestseller, and a lot of amazing things happened for the book and myself. We got interview with Angela Rye. We've been on national media. We just got interviewed by Forbes. Like we've been doing a lot. So getting back to our regularly scheduled programming, obviously you can still go get the book at buildingbread.com/blueprint. A lot of people have been getting copies. We started to get reviews, and we actually sold out of a few bookstores, which is really, really cool. So as we're getting back to our regularly scheduled programming, today I want to tell you about the danger, not necessarily the danger of meme stocks, but what makes meme stocks so difficult. Like what makes them so hard to gauge, catch, understand, and then profit from. Because what a lot of people are going to think is I'm going to get up here, I'm going to trash AMC, I'm going to trash GameStop, I'm going to trash all these things that are just popping up and going what some people call hyperbolic or parabolic, whatever you want to call it. But what I am going to tell you though is what makes it so difficult. So if you can make some money off of it, fine, but you do want to be careful. But I'm going to show you why it is so hard to do that. So to illustrate that, I'm going to share the screen. But to give some people some background, since we haven't been here in a while, a meme stock is a stock primarily that just gets pumped up and usually falls quickly after, but it's pumped up because of speculation or what's called a short squeeze. And that's usually what starts to happen. It's a pattern. A lot of this was started on Wall Street Bets, and now there are several other forums, but primarily they're the biggest culprits of this. This started, I wouldn't say it started, but one of the most famous culprits is GameStop. And then it was AMC, and now there's a company called, I think it's Clovis or Clover. It's like a pharmaceutical company. I have it pulled up, so I'll show you here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to show you why it's so difficult to figure out when to get in, because the problem with meme stocks, and here's a big thing, the problem with meme stocks is you don't know what price to get in. If I'm looking at Google, Apple, T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever it is, because I have a longer history of either success or failure, I can look at the chart and say, okay, I should be able to get in here. I should be able to get out here on average. And more times than not, you are going to be right, or you can be right with the right type of practice. But when it comes to a meme stock, these just pop out of nowhere. And sometimes they go in waves. And we've seen this with GameStop where it'll pop 20, 30, 40%, and they'll fall off the map. And then weeks later, it just pops again. So for you as an investor, you can profit off of that. That's great, except that because it's a meme and people just feel some type of way about it, it's hard to gauge what price to get in. So I want to show you a few examples of this and then kind of walk you through why this is so difficult, which because it's difficult is why it makes it so dangerous. Let's go ahead and share screens. Should be looking at, this is Clover. So this is the one I was talking about earlier. So this is the one that was doing pretty well today. It was up 85% in one single day, which is ridiculous, right? But here's the thing. So looking at the chart here, this is going back to, what is this, June 2020. Now, if you're looking to get into it, now right now we know it's at $22, but ignore that for a second. Let's just look at the chart. So if you were in this stock, you could have picked it up here at $10 or so, and it pops to about $13, a little more than $13. Now, a few weeks later, this is, if you look at the bottom, and there's a little black box. This is September 30th, 2020. It went from about 13 or so, and then just weeks later, October 14th, October 29th, which was my birthday, it was down to about $10 again. So if you went from $13 per share down to 10, that's a significant drop. You're probably not going to be happy. And at this point, you're thinking this stock is probably not good. I don't know what price this is going to go at, but I've just lost a significant amount of money, from 13 to 10. And if you look here, it's around 9 or so. So you can see here about $9, a little less than 10. Probably not a place I want to invest. I just lost a lot of money, right? If I just looked at this, stock goes up, immediately crashes, probably not a company I'm going to invest in, right? However, time goes on, right? So we see now that all of a sudden it shoots back up to 11. Is this time to get in? Not sure. It takes off and hits as high as 17, and this was in December. right? I didn't have it on the radar. I didn't know that, right? So if I had gotten in at 10, if I had known, which I did not know, all I knew back in December was this, right? That's what makes it super hard because you don't have a whole lot of history. It only goes back to June of 2020. So it pops up all the way. Let's continue to scroll. Pops up to 17. Is this the time to get in? What if it goes to 50, right? What if it goes to 22? I don't know. Like, should I get in at 17? I'm not sure. I just saw it pop up again, or is it about to fall? You probably know what happened. It started to fall. It went all the way from 17 all the way down to $8, or actually $7 and almost 30 cents. This would have been the time to buy. But again, we don't know that. I just saw it go from 17, right? From this a few days after Christmas, from this was it December 28th, fall all the way down to March, down to below $7, which was worse than what it was in November. So again, because we don't know, it's a meme, it's people just pumping this company up. We have no idea when they were going to pick this up, if they were going to pick it up, and what time I'm going to get in this price. I'm sorry, at what price am I going to pick up this specific company? So again, it goes from it went from 13, right, from 13 to about 9 to 17, all the way down to about 8, and then got even worse, or stayed the same, about 7, and all of a sudden it pops from, it went down from to $6.80, and popped all the way up to 22. Here's the thing: is 22 the price now? Right? Is this the point I should get in? What if it goes to 50? Right? What if it goes to 100? I have no idea because it's a meme. There is no reason as to why this company's up 85%. No logical reason. Like, the company is not 85% better. It's people betting, it's people looking at it as a short squeeze, trying to get back at the man. We talked about all that kind of stuff. And all I know is that every time it pops like this, it immediately falls down. And just because it falls down, it could be a long time. We're talking December here, all the way down to April. So it could be several months before it pops again, or it could continue to go up for X amount of days. We don't know. And that's, again, that's the difficult part about this type of game, where you're trying to chase companies that may not be all legitimate, that are a part of meme culture at this point, because we don't know. No one knows just how these people feel on that day. And that's really it. So let's go to GameStop as another good example. This is the one that was famous, right? So this is going back to December 2019. So we're taking it back quite a ways. You're at, what is this? About $15 a share, a little bit more than that. Immediately starts to fall off, and it goes all the way down to about $5 and some change. Check my watch. So you look down here and you're like, this is garbage, right? Like, this is not a great company. Okay. And today, as you can see, the top corner here, it's already at $300 a share. But again, there's a problem here. So it's down at $5 a share. Lord knows we all wish we could have scooped up as much as we could at $5 a share, right? I know I do. So companies continuously not doing well, goes up to, what is that, 6 or so, down to 4, down to $2.85 in what is that, in April of 2020, which, yeesh, that was a time, right? And it just kind of languishes between $2 to $5, and all of a sudden starts to take off. This is September. Starts to take off at $8. So we could have gotten it at $8 if we had got it at 2, which would have been amazing. And then takes off some more, and then here we go. Now we're hitting December. This is starting to get into 2021. It's at $16, and it just takes all the way off up to close to $350 a share, right? So remember that at this point, if you can go back and watch videos, people, and there was a dude that was in my comments almost every day when GameStop was really popping, that was saying, like, it's going to go to 500, it's going to go to 1,000. Well, it only went up to 357 or 347 at this point in time, and people were still buying at that point, which again makes it super dangerous because you don't know at what point to get in. We didn't know that at 147 that was going to go, it was going to keep going, right? No one really expected that, but it did. So people who bought at almost 350 assumed it was going to go to 450 to 650 and beyond, right? And then it immediately fell, went down to 193. But here's the thing: was 193 a good price? It's hard to tell. It is extremely hard to tell because it's based on how people are feeling, and it doesn't move like a normal stock. So the answer today is yes. 193 would have been a great price, because just a few days later, that is January 28th, then by January 29th, it was at the 325 again, right? And then what happened? You pretty much know what happened right after that. Let's see. Let's go forward. So it hit the 325 and then dropped immediately all the way down to $90 a share. So you were at just a few days few days earlier, you were at 325. You dropped down to 93, which means that you have held, if you had bought in at 193 and you said, oh, it's at 325, it's going to continue to go. And then the very next day, or just 2 or 3 days later, we're looking at January 28th to February 2nd. Imagine getting in at 123, 193 and losing close to $100 per share in just a few days. I don't even think that's a full week, and it's gone just like that. Super difficult to judge. Now, again, looking at where it is today, because you didn't know this, right? None of us knew where exactly it was going to go. So it's at 90 at this point in time, or at that point in time, rather. Then it goes as low as 60, then starts to come back at 120, then drop some more. And it's just been a ridiculous ride to where it is now at $300 a share. So yeah, if you could have gotten it at 90, that would have been perfect. If you could have got it at $2 a share, that would have been perfect. But because this is based on how people feel at that point in time, it is super, super difficult to try and price in. The same thing is the exact same pattern for AMC. I'm not going to go through that one because we went through two, and you get what this pattern is going. So that's what makes meme stocks dangerous. Not just because the companies have a shady history or may have been on the ropes financially, and that's all true. That you can argue in the comments all you want. The fact is, GameStop was, not anymore, thanks to Wall Street Bets, but GameStop was on the verge of bankruptcy. AMC was on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm not sure about what is this one, Clover, just yet, but their stock performance hadn't been all that great up until now. But again, the dangerous thing about this is just that we just don't know what the best price is. Because if you had bought at the top, which was about 350 or so, you still wouldn't have made your money back. At least not yet. Now you might tomorrow, right? We'll see. But that's just what makes it super dangerous, because depending on when you hear about it, when you put in money, you could have done really well, or you could have done really terribly, depending on how long you held, right? You could have got it at 193 here, right around here, and you would have started to make your money back months later, which is fine, right? But that's if you did that. Because I know if I invested in 193 and I turned around and less than a week later, I'm down $100 per share, it's going to be pretty hard to hold on to that, right? And you never know when people are going to pump this stock back up. And that's the problem. You're at the whim of other people talking about a company. You're at the whim of people really just hounding a company and forcing people to push it back up. That's it. You're not hoping on sales necessarily. You're not hoping on fundamentals, or you're not really banking on previous history. Like, we know what Disney is, we know what Amazon is, we know what Apple is, we know what Netflix is. You know what to expect, and you pretty much know most of the time where it's going to go. We don't know what these people are going to pump up next. I don't know if it's going to be Clover. I don't know if it's going to be AMC. I don't know if it's going to be GameStop, and none of us know how this is going to swing tomorrow. It could be very, very good, or it could be very terrible. So we're going to keep our eye on it. But again, this is my concern about meme stocks. I'm not saying you can't make money. I have made money on AMC. This was like the first wave months ago, and I got a little bit in Clover. I think I was like $200 in Clover. Whatever happens, happens. But I also have my stop loss. I also practice what I preach. But if you are brand new to it, you got to be careful around stuff like this, because it makes it super, super difficult. There is no guarantee that Clover is going to be the next GameStop, or it's going to be the next AMC. We don't know, right? That's the problem with it. So when you go into a meme stock, you need to have your meme protection, meaning that you either need to be okay with sitting it out for a while, because it could go in waves. We don't know. You also want to try and figure out what price you're going to get into. But it's really more of a gamble. To be honest with you, it's more of a gamble. The same thing with Dogecoin, right? They ain't turned out so well. Well, it did for some, right? Depending on when you got in. But again, it was just because of Elon Musk's tweets. That's all it really was. So all this to say, just be careful about it. I think of the three, I think actually Clover had some, and it's relatively new. It's pharmaceuticals, it's health. In this age, it's still pretty valuable, right? It still makes sense because it's relatively new, and I still haven't even looked into it all the way. You always want to be careful around stuff like this, which is why I only put but a tiny, tiny fraction on it. and your boy got a stop loss. So if it drops to a certain price, I'm out of it and I'm moving on to things we already know are a lot more reliable. So, all right, so that's it for me. I know it's a longer video. I feel like I owed y'all a little bit more quality time today. So there you go. But anyway, let me know what you think about this meme investing culture. We focus on quality anyway, so we'll be watching the price, but that's probably the end of that as we focus on some new stocks we should start to look into for June. And we got some things coming up for y'all there. Also, make sure you get the book from Burning Your Blueprint, Rebuilding Black Wall Street After a Century of Silence. It is good. Really, really good. I know you're going to enjoy it because we don't only talk about history. We also talk about money, including the stock market, why it's important, how you as an investor can get started. That link is above or below wherever you're watching it, buildingbread.com/blueprint. buildingbread.com/blueprint. All right, so that's it for me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.